All right, so here we are, two card tarot reading to bring your week together. Mars and Aries. I mean, we got to do Mars and Aries. So
Mhm.
I'm going to pick the cards today, and the first card I'm going to draw will be what is it that we need to take action on, and then the second card I'll choose is just um, a self care card.
Yes, yes, I like that. Action and self-care.
So first card again will be what is it that we can take action on right now? A very Aries starting here. The Emperor. We are our own keeper. I am a no gods, no masters kind of person. We have for me, we have to, this is almost, for me, this card is the same as the High Priestess. And I blame my Capricorn rising for that, but this card is the same one. It's really about um so understanding that you have power. Okay, the emperor didn't get to that throne by not fighting, by not being manipulative, by not you know pushing forward, by not sleeping, by not being an ultimate warrior, right? And I think the important part here is the emperor is done doing all of that. They're actually sitting, they're able to reflect, they're able to maintain, keep control. Okay. But you've got to bring out your inner emperor. And that inner emperor is not there to fuel you with negativity. Like loving kindness, your inner child. Think about what that child needed way back in the way back. These things that we're being triggered to, I'm telling you, whatever that is, offer the kindness to that child that you wish that you would have experienced back then, because we're going to be taken back to those roots. And this may be something ancestral that we're experiencing. It may be just being a little assertive, you know what I mean,
Mhm,
and taking charge and moving forward. um,
mhm.
I think we just need to live with our figure out who our inner authoritarian is and have them be kinder. Take action on, like reining that person in and knowing that that person is here and not still fighting and not still proving and not still, you know,
Mhm.
trying to gain the approval of others. Like, you already know who you are. You're confident in that. You've gone through that. So, a good reminder is to take action on that person that you are. And
Mhm.
maybe that you felt like you were. Like, you might
Mhm.
feel like, ooh, this other part of me is awakening now. So take action on that. Do that.
Each one of us is large and in charge of ourselves. Each one of us gets to be our own emperor, our own empress, our own king or queen. And one of the things that always comes across when I see this card, which is a very Aries card, you can see the ram heads on there. It's about determination. It's about the willingness to fight. But one of the things that always comes across to me with this card is the phrase hard decisions. The emperor is the part of us that really understands what our long-term goals are for safety, for structure, for a sense of grounding and establishment in the world. And that is the part of us that makes the tough choice. That is the part of us that brings the hatchet down, okay, when it's time to cut something off, cut something loose, do something differently, say, I'm not doing this, I'm doing that. Even if it's tough, that's the choice the emperor has to make to maintain security, to establish a safe place for oneself and one's closest people, for oneself and one's community, even to be. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices. The emperor makes sacrifices. Sometimes we have to, let go of people that are not productive to our mission. We have to let go of plans, even strategies and tactics that are not productive to our mission. We have to be able to take in the information and make the decisions in a very strategic way. So when it comes to the actions that we're taking this week, we're talking about Mars in Aries. And so nothing could be more appropriate than the Emperor card. Just think about what it is in your own life, like you are in charge of your life. So what are the choices that you're making? Are they bringing you closer to your greater goals? Are they bringing you closer to feeling like you have the authority in your life to make the decisions that you need to make to get yourself to where you need to go?
Ooh, I love that.
Work
Aries,
from
Aries.
your sense of authority, okay? Like, when I started doing massage about 25 years ago, I didn't really have any authority in the world of massage. I didn't have any expertise. I just had what I had learned, and I had to go and do the work. And even when I didn't wanna do the work, even when it's been hard to do the work, I've made the choice to do that work. And now 25 years in, I have authority as a massage therapist. And it doesn't mean that I get to rule over people or boss people around. But what it does mean is that I have a really broad set of established knowledge that I can use to make decisions for myself, to make suggestions to what other people do, and to make my own choices as to like how I go about achieving my goals, my sense of security.
Yes. I love it. I think that's a great way to end for that card there. The Emperor has spoken.
Stand in your authority when you're taking action right now, friends.
Absolutely.
You know where your authority is. It might not be massage therapy.
Right. You know where your authority is. And for that matter, know your worth with it too.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So the next card, the final card of the doggy Walkerson is getting we always know when it's time to wrap it up. The dog is just like ready. I left a door open so she doesn't feel so locked in, but she's just like, hello, I'm over here scratching. All right, so this last card here is about you know self-care, right? Just
Mhm.
talking
That's a good
about
way to take care of yourself this week.
yeah. I
Tell no
love
lies.
I love her.
We
The
got
Queen
the
of
royalty
Swords.
this week.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I kind of had an inkling about this, but the next card in the deck is Justice.
All right.
When to me, the Queen of Swords and Justice goes hand in hand.
Mhm.
So this week, like bear witness to how much you're putting in. Okay,
Mhm.
talk to yourself about the like if you're like so Melanie like 4 hours of work yesterday where she meant to do an hour and a half of work. A little bit of balance would have, like maybe 2 hours of work would have been, a little better. Even though like I saw her and I know that she was fine. She was really spent at the end. Okay. And also um self-care really this is about temperance still for me. The Queen of Swords is about how you're even down to how it is that you talk about certain things, like how they manifest in your life, how you keep them there even if you think that you're walking away from them. Notice how it is that you're speaking, what you're talking about, what you're spending your time on. Notice what it is that people come to you and ask you questions about because you're the authority, you're the Queen of Swords, right? And just make sure that you have plenty of time for your own self-care, okay? And don't hesitate to tell people, that you don't have time right now, that you really have to balance out, your time for yourself and maybe pick another time that might be better for whatever it is that's, coming to you or being asked of you. Pick a different time that is not as busy or as, as full as it is for you right now. So just, make sure that you're keeping, oh, what is this word that I'm keep counsel with yourself, keep counsel with yourself and check in with yourself. Have I eaten? And when's the last time I've eaten? Have I gone to the bathroom? If you haven't gone pee, you probably need to drink something,
Mhm.
all sorts of things that we can and ask ourselves. And, the best way to do that is to ground ourselves and ask ourselves a question, and then, move toward that answer. And that first answer should be, how is it that we're taking care of ourselves in the most basic of ways? Sleep, eat, rest, those things.
This reminds me of Quan Tracy Cherry, who died in the past year, and we miss him sorely. But we know that he's also in the air around us, influencing us with his laughter and his joy and his sensuality and his understanding of bigger things. But why that reminds me of him is that there was this quote from him that I saved for years, and it says, primarily know what you know, for believing carries doubt. And to me, that's about being honest with yourself, being truthful with yourself about what you're doing, what your situation is, what your intention is. Like, sometimes we do things and we don't have the best possible intention. We have to be really clear that our intention is not the best possible intention, and that's why it might not work out. Uh, but really, this is about being honest with yourself, and also noticing, there's a whole theme through here um, of tough decisions, of making tough choices, of telling the truth, being honest to yourself and being honest with others. That sword is the sword of truth, and using that sword sort of cuts both ways. It can be good and bad at the same time. It sort of sets you free. The truth sets you free, sure, but it also sort of exposes you in certain ways. Now I'm thinking about the gemstones and Jesse Gemstone saying, "Oh, I was looking for that freedom that comes with telling the truth." He told the truth about some really dishonest and terrible things that he did, and so the freedom isn't there yet. There's a little bit of he has to eat some crow, in the meantime, to get back to that place where we are all truthful and and being exposed the way that we are when we're truthful doesn't feel too vulnerable, because we know why we're doing things. We're being honest with ourselves and we're being honest with others. That's the way to create that balance while we're still making the progress that we want to make.
And for old Jesse Gemstone, that truth that he was wanting actually literally got him shot in the butt.
Yep, she shot him in his butt meat for sure.
So,
So don't get shot in the ass. Just be, what's funny is the thing that he lied about was something that he should not have just even done in the first place. He should not have been engaged in it at all.
right.
So,
No.
sometimes it's about the company you're keeping and the decisions that you're making when nobody's there to really tell you differently.
Mhm.
The things that you do that are not the most honest can come back to literally bite you in the ass.
Mhm.
When it's time to be honest, and the truth always comes out.
Right. And that Queen of Swords and Justice, it's still, I want to go back to bearing witness, like even just being honest with yourself, witnessing what you're seeing and why it bothers you. I'm right now kind of watching a few people, and there are things that they do that I don't really like, and it's because I do them, and it's a direct reflection of what I look like, and it's really, oof, it's really
Mhm.
just kind of kicked me in the back of the knees a little bit thinking about it, and just understanding why this is so upsetting to me and why it really bothers me, and it's really
Mhm.
kind of pushing the envelope here. So I hope that a lot of people are getting some healing and being honest with yourselves right now. That truth, it may not seem like freedom, but it really, really is.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
It has taken me about 50 years, literally 50 years, to find any kind of freedom in moderation.
mm,
Like as an Aries and as a person who grew up with parents who did not practice a lot of moderation, I really valued like hedonism, and I really valued like a lack of moderation for a long time. And I have had to be brought basically kicking and screaming into, into a more moderate way of being, where I don't do a bunch of stuff to excess all the time and then I can't figure out why my life isn't working.
mhm,
And so for a lot of us, it takes about 50 years. And if I were talking to my 25-year-old self right now, I would be saying this, and my 25-year-old self would be saying, that's bullshit. We don't need moderation right now. So, take it the way that you want to. But all three of these cards right here say, you know, those are people who have learned to be in charge of themselves and in charge of the things around them by practicing moderation.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to quickly wrap this up because my equipment is no longer charging, and I won't be able to end the stream if I don't wrap it up really quickly. But thank you so much, Mel, for all of your insights, the astrology today, and everything that you said about the tarot. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Happy spring, happy green spring to those who enjoy the spring equinox. And I hope that this information finds you and yours doing well. If you haven't already, please subscribe and know that we are here every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you need us, you can look at us up on Facebook, Instagram, and please continue to follow us here. And we look forward to seeing you again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. But in the meantime, ground yourselves, love yourselves, practice love for yourself and everyone, and know that we're here for you, holding space for you.
Thank you for being here, everyone. Much love. We'll catch you in the next video.